NYYST. This is New York. Yankee sports talk. Swinging for the fences, knock it out the park. This is New York. Yankee sports talk. Christian and Chris, of course SGR. This is New York. Yankee sports talk, homie, New York. Yankee sports talk. Record, rain or shine, grab your shades and umbrellas. NYYST, you're hanging with the fellas.
Donaldson.
Yeah, Ben. We just go with Ben. Benny boy.
Big Ben.
Big Ben.
So there is a very
tangible.
There's a very tangible what's the word we're looking for here? Actually, I wasn't going to go tangible. You just snuck it in there. Yeah, don't.
I always sneak it in.
Well, that's why you got 3 kids, so.
Yeah, it's true.
Wait, no, never mind. Everyone was saying there was no sound, but now we're good to go. Everyone's commenting. We got sound. We're good. We're good.
All right, so this is a very polarizing the right word?
Yeah, polarizing.
This is a very polarizing trade that the Yankees made last night. I'm glad that they made it because I don't want to talk about the CBA because the Yankees making the trade means one thing. The lockout is over. They're playing 162. Opening day is April 7th. They're going to extend the season by a couple days. And I believe they're going to play a couple doubleheaders in there. We don't need to get into that because we need to really dissect and break down this trade because this is one of the big I don't want to overstate it by saying this is one of the biggest trades the Yankees have ever made, but this trade has a lot of repercussions that go beyond what is happening just as a pure baseball maneuver. So before we do that, Chris is going to bookkeep, and then we're going to spend some time getting into
controversial. Controversial, I think, is a good. It's not so much polarizing. I feel like a lot of the fan base is on.
Who taught you big words?
Don't go into that bit. Listen, anyone watching the show right now, we thank you. Please subscribe and to the NyynewsTV channel. Please hit that like button for us. Smash that. And if you're listening to us tomorrow, this will drop on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Please leave us a 5-star rating and review. Anything less, keep it to yourself. And we do have some clips tonight, exclusive clips from Mike Francesa. What he does now, no one really knows. He just interviews people from the Yankees, and then he doesn't even publish it. He just sends it to me directly.
Yeah, and he's off the grid. He's off the grid.
Is. And we have a couple clips from him and Cashman and him and Gardy. And we're going to have an exclusive clip that was from last week with Garrett Cole on our Patreon. So head over to patreon.com/NyynewST. You can join us and help support the show for as low as $5 a month. You can pledge more. We encourage it. And yeah, I mean, that's really it because we have so much shit to get into. And this is, like Christian said, breaking down this trade is probably more. It's so complex, this trade. I can't remember another trade that had this many components to it.
I just got to say this. Hey, yo, rest in peace, Scott Hall.
Oh yeah, your boy.
true legend of the pro wrestling game, Razor Ramon, passed away earlier today.
R.I.P.
So
R.I.P.
R.I.P. There was no Hulk Hogan. Okay.
Did Francesca tweet it?
Yeah.
He hates. No, come on, dude. I could only imagine a Francesca obituary tweet for a pro wrestler.
Oh,
Okay.
it was never my favorite. Okay.
He didn't have a catchphrase like The Rock. Okay, I didn't know what he was cooking. Okay, good wrestler. R.I.P.
All right, so where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the initial reaction? Let's start with the initial reaction to the trade. Pete sends us the text in the group chat, Gary gone. And I'm like,
Okay.
what are you talking about here?
Okay.
And then boom, you hit refresh. There you see it. What's the guy's name? Ben what? We're just gonna call him Ben Big Arm?
Yeah,
No.
dude. Because
it's Ben Rortved.
Rortved, yeah. Rortved.
All right, so it's Ben Rortved, Isaiah Falefa, and Josh Donaldson to the Yankees for Gary Sanchez and Gio Urshela. Now, let's just go around the room. I'm going to say it first, and you guys could jump in. My initial reaction, I hate the trade. I hated it. It pissed me off the minute I saw it come across the board. And people were, you can look at it two ways. It's not what the Yankees gave up in this trade, because we fought bloody battles on this show defending Gary Sanchez. And I think last year we all came to the realization we're not dying on that hill anymore.
No.
And it was time, and it was time for Gary Sanchez to go. Now, did I really think that? And we're gonna spend a lot of the show ripping Brian Cashman because he fucking deserves it. He really deserves it. Are we allowed to curse on the live stream?
Yeah, of course, dude.
Okay. He deserves it. He really, truly deserves to get ripped.
As of right now, yeah.
But he had what I didn't think he had, and that's the balls to trade Gary Sanchez. I did not think he had it in him to pull the trigger on such a maneuver. He did. I'm not crying that Gary's gone. It was time for Gary to go. We've had enough of the Gary Sanchez show here. I thought it was going to last another season, and my whole thought was always going to be, well, the Yankees know he's in his final year under contract. They'll just let him walk. They don't have to make a tough decision about it. Yeah. Kudos to them. Honestly, like, we're going to spend a lot of time killing the Yankees today, but kudos to them for realizing they had to get this guy off this team. So good for them on that part.
True.
Also, Gio Urshela. I know a lot of people are upset. The most happy fella. Oh, I'm going to miss Gio. I'm not going to miss Gio Urshela. I think what I saw from Gio Urshela last year showed me that we probably saw the best of Gio Urshela in 2019, 2020. Am I wrong in saying that? I think I voted when we did keep him, dump him. I'm pretty sure I voted dump him to Gio Urshela. So I'm not mad they got rid of Gio Urshela. I'm definitely not mad they got rid of Gary Sanchez. My initial reaction was, you cheap son of a bitch. Like,
not even cheap, stupid.
No, it's cheap and stupid, because when you trade for Isaiah Falefa, what you're telling us is that you're not going to get a shortstop. This is the guy. And here's Creed. Everybody say hi to Creed. Hi, Creed.
Live show.
He's the guy. I mean, why else do you make the maneuver? And Falefa just got traded. It traded 2 days ago,
yeah,
a day ago.
It was like a day ago.
So that's my initial reaction. We're not getting Carlos Correa. They're not even going to try to sign Trevor Story to a short-term deal. It's Isaiah Falefa and fuck you, basically, right? Now, Josh Donaldson, you mean to tell me you're the budget Yankees? You're the budget Yankees. We have no money to do this. We have no money to do that. We're the budget Yankees. But we're going to go and pick up $50 million in Josh Donaldson's contract?
Yeah.
What are you thinking? Like, honestly.
Yeah.
What do we always say, Chris? This is for everybody that's new to the show that might be watching us for the first time. It's not so much that Hal doesn't spend. It's that Cashman doesn't spend his money correctly. And here's another friggin' example of him not spending Hal Steinbrenner's money correctly. You want to say that I know a lot of fans wanted to give Hal Steinbrenner grief last night. I'm not giving Hal Steinbrenner grief because the Yankees were either at or above the tax level, very close to it. I don't know what the exact numbers are. when they signed the new CBA. It didn't go up by much, but the Yankees were very close to that tax number based on what their arbitration numbers were going to be, right?
Right.
So he approved going over the luxury tax to do this trade. Did he? He had to have, right?
Right.
Brian Cashman's not going to take on that salary unless Hal says it's okay to do so.
Right.
So what the hell are you thinking, taking on a 36-year-old third baseman who gets injured a lot, $50 million when we have so many other needs on this team?
Can I just interject for 1 second?
I'm done for right now. So yes.
Because everything you're saying is true, but in the back of your mind, you have to say to yourself, the only way this makes sense to spend that kind of money to go over the luxury tax for a guy we truly didn't need, but I'll take. Look, I don't hate this deal because I don't think Josh Donaldson is an upgrade. I think he's a huge upgrade, actually, and I love Gio Urshela. I think it's an even bigger upgrade that we cut the fat a little bit, especially with Gary Sanchez. What you're seeing Brian Cashman do, if I'm going to compliment him in any way, what he's done so far is cut the strikeout rate. And he has done that significantly, getting guys like IKF, right? Falafa. I'm calling him Falafa. Is that how you say it?
No. Hanging with the Falafas.
Falefa.
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 Oh,
got it.
You know, Kay's gonna butcher that a lot this
year.
Okay.
And fucking forget about Sterling. He's so fucked anyway.
He's retired.
Can we just we're just gonna refer to him as IKF.
Yeah, that's what everyone does, I think. But getting him, getting Donaldson, getting rid of Gary Sanchez, you're cutting out a lot of swing and misses, which is something this team desperately needs. And that's me complimenting Brian Cashman. But like I said, at first I absolutely hated it because I thought to myself immediately, and we have every right to feel this way, here go the Yankees again with this bullshit where we're supposed to sit here and allow a move where you're paying Donaldson $50 million and trading for him to come here when you don't truly need him. And we're supposed to fill two other positions that are way more of a priority than getting a big time third baseman, right? And the only way you can justify it, there's only one fucking way you can justify it. And that's if you're willing, now that you're over the luxury tax, for a piece that was pretty unnecessary, if you're willing to just continue that down that trajectory there and to keep opening up the checkbook.
Yeah.
To not care what it takes to get Freddie Freeman. Look, Olson at that point, I really felt in my gut that they were going to end up getting him. But logically, if you really think about it, the fact that they went with IKF for short meant that their long-term plan was to get these kids up at some point in the next few years.
I don't want to cut you off per se, but I don't want to get into Olson and Volpe just yet. I want to take this piece by piece because I think
I'm getting there. I'm coming back. I'll come back around. So really, that's the way to justify it, right? If he's going to go do that. But this move alone, I'm with Christian on this. When I first heard it, I was flipping out. I honestly was disgusted. And then I woke up this morning and I was like, you know what? Again, contingent upon Cashman making other moves.
Right.
It's really not a bad trade. You found a home for Gary Sanchez, which I truly didn't think they were going to do for anything valuable, which, I mean, you're picking up $50 million of his contract. Gary Sanchez was just a bonus at this point. And you got rid of Gio. Fine. Defense is going to be pretty solid so far. But again, first reaction, awful. And then after sleeping on it, not as bad as I first.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't be too upset with them getting rid of the guys they got rid of with Gio and Gary. Gio especially is maybe you're more hesitant to get rid of, but I don't think he really put them completely over the hump the way maybe another player could down the line. So it's not really too big of a heartbreak getting rid of him.
Josh Donaldson is a better baseball player than Gio Urshela.
Right. So then if you're replacing him with a Donaldson, then it makes sense. Where this move doesn't make sense, unless Chris, like what you're saying is now they're going to break free from this luxury tax thought and just spend, is now this is a precursor move. This is a move that is setting up another move. But I don't know. It doesn't look like it is that way. we've been doing this a while now. This looks like that it's IKF is going to be their third baseman. Donaldson will be at third, or excuse me, shortstop, yeah. And then Donaldson at third. And I mean, and then Rizzo will come back down the line, but we'll get to that.
Well,
at another time later.
Here's something too. Yankee fans are always guilty of this. I'm definitely guilty of it. Probably not Christian as much, but definitely SGR too.
Did you get sunburned, bro? Your face is so red.
What? Nah, it's just when allergy season kicks in, dude. It just happens. It just hits me once in a while, man.
You have allergies?
Yeah, it's like crazy. It's hot.
Bro, I had a bad allergy attack the day I got my wisdom tooth pulled. That was the worst.
Yeah. How you feeling, by the way? I forgot you got that.
I popped like 7 Vikes before we came on.
Nice. Did you make a mound of it and just Scarface it?
I'm right off the key. Bump.
Nice.
No, I'm kidding. You can't joke about stuff like that.
A key bump. You can joke about whatever you want.
Okay. Where's your mask, by the way?
I figured this show is too serious for the mask. I'll put it on in a little bit.
You got to put on the mask for the live chat.
I think I threw it out of arm's reach, so I couldn't put it on. Anyway, Yankee fans are guilty of this. I'm guilty of it. We get attached to players that have some big moments, but we just truly like, right? Like Gio was such a likable player.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it sucks to see him go, but we can't lose sight of the fact that he's an expendable guy. As good as he is, as good as he did for this team in a lot of big moments, as much as we love the guy, as much as we love his presence in the dugout and on the field, he's not someone that you have to sit here and go crazy over, be up in arms over that they got rid of. He's an expendable piece. We got more out of Gio Urshela than any team ever thought was possible.
Right.
No, the Yankees
didn't we get him for like a nickel?
21K.
We said that the Yankees they picked up Urshela for a used Hyundai.
Yeah, yeah. With like 90,000 miles on it.
Honestly, like I'm fully invested in the show, but my head's going to be in my phone a lot because I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for news.
Waiting for news.
Thank you to Tyler Talbot. Sorry if I butchered your last name. He said it's set up Torres to get traded. I don't know where. Reds, A's, maybe. Thank you for the super chat donation there.
Ooh.
And yeah, I mean
that's why they call him Team. That's why they call him Team Money.
Team Money.
Team Money.
But yeah.
All right, so
yeah, I agree.
Here's the funny thing, right? About Kiner Falefa. He had a 3.7 WAR last year. Gio Urshela, he had a 3.7 WAR last year.
Okay.
Gio Urshela, 0.6.
Okay. Gio, how long was Gio hurt last year? I can't put an accurate.
Urshela played in 116 games last year.
So I mean, a significant amount. He missed more than I thought. But
he played every day. IKF played 158 games. Now, we were talking about this earlier today. We were texting back and forth. Once the initial emotion of the trade goes away, I'm just looking at it as a pure baseball move. It's not a bad one. Look, if you're looking at on the field, what this means to the Yankees on the field, to me, it's not a bad move. I know nothing. I'll be honest with you. I know nothing about the catcher they got. Everybody's raving about him. Says he's got opposite field power. He's really good defensively. The Yankees seem to think that they upgrade it. I mean, you could have stuck a cardboard box back there and you would have upgraded defensively over Gary Sanchez. But we all know what Josh Donaldson is. He's a former MVP. If he stays healthy, he's going to hit 30, 35 home runs. He's going to play a really good third base. He's an upgrade over Gio Urshela. I mean, you might not like him. He's kind of a douchebag, but he's a better baseball player than Gio Urshela. Now, I'm not making the argument that I want Isaiah Kiner Falefa to be the shortstop for the Yankees. I'm not. I think any longtime listener to the show, anybody knew, if I need to say it again, I wanted Carlos Correa on this team. I would have settled for Trevor Story. So no, I'm not really okay that IKF is a shortstop, but if you really look at it, just on the field and not the extra stuff. The guy hit 270 last year, plays a great defense. He steals bags.
Mm-hmm.
He's the type of guy that you can stick at the top of the lineup. The Yankees really don't have a leadoff hitter. Can he hit 270 this year and play that type of defense and get on base and run a little bit? It changes the dynamic of the team a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Real quick, thank you to Li Yankee King for the super chat donation. He said, I wanted Cash to retool this offseason, and he screwed that up. Literally, how do you screw up a retooling team like the Yankees? By the way, not a win now team. Listen, dude, I get where you're coming from, but the Yankees have no fucking, they can't retool right now, man. We just had a rebuild. How'd that go? What makes you so confident? Dude, they've invested a lot of money in Garrett Cole, man. And they're going to be investing a lot of money in some of these other guys. How can you justify retooling at this point, and how do you have any confidence in it? Because the last retool didn't go so well, or rebuild, whatever you want to call it. So, like we say all the time, I don't trust the people retooling.
There's one guy left.
Do the right thing.
I mean, there's one guy left standing, and that's Aaron Judge. Right? Out of that whole crew now.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to say it's Gleyber Torres, but
wow,
let's face it. The reason why the Yankees had to go and do this is because of Gleyber Torres. He shit the bed at shortstop.
Yeah, big time.
Yep, you're right.
If Gleyber Torres is what the Yankees thought he was, a capable shortstop, a capable major league shortstop, we're not even thinking about Carlos Correa. We're not thinking about, are the Yankees waiting for Anthony Volpe? Because the Yankees have their shortstop. It's Gleyber Torres. He was so bad last year that he took the Yankees plan and he literally took a shit on it and flushed it down the toilet.
Yeah.
That's how bad he was last year. So,
yeah, man.
And we were saying we didn't think that Brian Cashman had the balls to trade Gary Sanchez. We've seen Brian Cashman do things this offseason where he's saying to himself, I gotta change the face of this team. I gotta get some of the dead weight out of here. They didn't tender Clint Frazier. Did you ever think that Clint Frazier is going to walk out the door for nothing? It was finally, hey, you know what? It's not going to work here. Go. Same thing with Gary Sanchez. He actually got something for him, but still, now it's Gleyber's turn. Gleyber's the guy that's got to get traded.
Right.
I couldn't imagine even saying that a year ago, but the Yankees have to trade Gleyber Torres now. And no, I would not trade him to Oakland. I don't think I would trade him to Oakland, to be honest with you, because
Why?
I don't know. Because Olson's gone. Olson went to the Braves.
Manaea is still there though.
You can build that pack. I think you can build that package with prospects. I don't think you need to trade Gleyber Torres in that deal.
Yeah, but why not just cut the fat?
Because
who are you getting for Gleyber Torres?
Because I think there's a guy in Cincinnati that we could get for Gleyber Torres.
Who?
Luis Castillo.
Yeah, you think that?
If you really,
I don't know. The Reds seem pretty desperate right now to get rid of people. So,
if you really want, excuse me, if the Yankees want to do dumb shit with their money, call the Reds, tell them you'll pay Joey Votto's contract.
Yeah, I was about to say, get Votto over here.
I know he's 38. He's owed $70 million.
So you giving up on Freeman?
Should I?
Do we have a choice?
I'll be shocked at this point.
Would you give up on Freeman to get Luis Castillo?
No,
Ooh.
I wouldn't.
Do I get Rizzo?
You're getting Joey Votto.
Can I get
Okay,
Rizzo?
if I'm getting Votto and Castillo, I would highly consider that.
Yeah, because any package with Castillo at this point, with how badly we need a pitcher, I think would outweigh what you're getting just from Freddie Freeman. No? Yes, no?
Yeah,
this team's rotation is empty. Like, we talk about it all the time. Sure, Sevy could be great, right? Question mark. Tyone, apparently he's going to start the season on time, but to me, still a question mark right now.
Really?
That's what Boone thinks, but who knows?
I'm not holding my breath on that.
Monty, neither am I. Monty, we say it all the time again. Phenomenal guy. Phenomenal guy.
Good guy.
If you're relying on, great guy.
Yeah, he's a back end. He's a 3 to
but
a
if
back
you're
end
relying on him to be more than that for a significant amount of time, you've done something wrong, right? And now Herman is going to be out, apparently. So, like, who's in this rotation, dude?
All right,
let me just cut you off and get to this real quick.
What happened?
Kyle, take a nap. Thank you for your super chat. He says, unpopular opinion. We may want to start building like the Rays. We put a lot of resources into growing talent from within. Love what you guys are doing. Thanks, pal. We appreciate the contribution there. And
you would want it that way. I think it should be we should start building like the Rays and be spending like the Dodgers.
Yeah, right. Okay, but here's the problem.
Let's combine both of those moves and
but you don't have to spend
Yankees
if you
again.
build like the Rays. And here's the problem, Kyle, and we say it all the time. If Howell wants that, that's fine. But he clearly has the wrong guy doing the job, because this guy now can't even spend the money properly when he has it to spend. Yeah. So how can we trust him? We say this all the time. Think about all the top prospects we got after the rebuild in 2016, right? How many of them have proven to be what we expected them to be long term and help this team win a World Series? How many? Mm-hmm. How many? One. Maybe Sevy. We don't know yet because he's been hurt for 3 fucking years. So, like, again, I don't trust the guy in charge, and I don't think Hal thinks he's the guy either.
All right, so you brought up the rotation. I want to bring up this tweet that I had earlier. All right, Carlos Rodon signed for 2 years, $44 million with where did he wind up? San Francisco. Yeah. I know a lot of Yankee fans wanted him. The upside is tremendous. I thought he was going to wind up here because Brian Cashman loves guys that are hurt all the time for his rotation. When I saw what he signed for, I was like, I'm glad that he didn't sign here, but I didn't know the Yankees were going to do stupid shit with their money this year.
Yeah. If you're going to be stupid, be stupid.
Right.
Commit to being stupid.
Yeah. I mean, if you're committing to being stupid, then be stupid with a guy that could legitimately be a number 2 behind Garrett Cole. All right. So Sweeney Murdy tweeted this. He says, Yankees have 8 starters in the fold right now. Cole, Severino, Montgomery, Tyone, Herman, Cortez, King, and Heel. More wouldn't hurt, but it's not a bad staff. Okay, Sweeney, this is when I quote tweeted it. Okay, that's me. Did I stutter?
Tweeted
it. I said, okay, ready. And tell me if you disagree with me. Here's the Yankees rotation in reality. All right, ready? Cole, ace. Severino, always hurt. Montgomery, 4th starter. Tyone, hurt. Herman sucks as a human, but he should be in the bullpen if he's on the team. Cortez can't go deep in games. King, his stuff is way better in the bullpen. Heel needs to learn how to throw strikes. So how is that a good rotation? How are you putting that rotation on the field and telling me we're competing for a World Series?
Yeah, it was a cuck move. It was a full cuck move by Sweeney there. Anthony Medina, thank you for the contribution. Christian, you got all twisted there.
Yeah, no, I had to check the batteries.
That's great. Anthony Medina, thank you. He says, "Hey guys, do you think now Yankees pivot to starting pitching and a first baseman, and still might look for a catcher? Also, center field, in my opinion, wasn't addressed. I'm sure we'll get to all of that as the show goes on. So stay tuned. Thank you for your contribution, though. We appreciate it."
Okay, so when this trade goes down last night, right? We're saying that everybody's pretty much in agreement that it's going to lead to something else. It has to, right? You're not making this move and then not doing anything else. Like, this can't be the move.
Right.
So we're thinking, even though Manaea is a guy that gets hurt, again, like, I want reliable guys in the rotation. I honestly, dude, like, I was thinking about this, and I take a rotation of 4s if they all gave me 190 innings behind Garrett Cole. If I knew that I would have guys that would take the ball every 5th day. They're not out there. I don't know. Are the Phillies competing? I guess they are, because I'm knocking on their door and asking for Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler's the fucking guy. That's a guy you want. A guy takes the ball every fifth day. Great pitcher. I don't know where the Yankees were when he was a free agent. Why they didn't sign him?
You're right, too.
Something did happen when he was a free agent. I forget the timeline of it, but the Yankees, we were actually discussing if the Yankees were going to get him. I think there were other names out there that we wanted them to get instead. But
the Corbin year or no?
That's what I was thinking, dude. The Corbin year. I'm pretty sure. So. If you guys looked at, we got 3 fucking super chats right now, dude. LA Yankee King again. Thank you. He said, if I was GM, I would have traded Chapman, Holmes, Licky, Peralta, Rodriguez, Sanchez, DJ LeMahieu, Voit, Hicks, Gallo, Stanton. It's not hard. I knew Cash would screw it up.
Because
it's like, it's not Scrabble when you skip a turn and you just throw all the fucking players into a bag and pick again.
It's not the Corbin year because he was a free agent in going into the 2020 season. And why are we trading Clay Holmes? Why are we doing that?
Yeah, no, you can't do it. I love you, LA Yankee King. You're a great supporter of NYY News TV, but you can't give up all those guys. Clay Holmes was great. I mean, and he's just it's just an arbitrary name to even think of because
if you want to get rid of Aroldis Chapman, which I think we all kind of do, you need Clay Holmes. Somebody's got to take Loizaca's spot because you're trading Chapman to put Loizaca in as closer, right? That would be the move. So wouldn't you then need somebody to take that step? I mean, from what I saw out of Clay Holmes, I think he could be a guy that you could use in the 7th, 8th inning.
Yeah. Unknown Soldier said the problem with the Yankees, and thank you for the contribution. The problem with the Yankees seem fine settling with just getting to the postseason. This move is a playoff move. What happened to World Series or bust? Yeah, I mean, we said it last show so many times. The easier you make it to get to the postseason by adding all these extra teams, the less owners are going to spend on big time guys when they don't have to. They're just gonna look to be competitive, make the postseason. Just got 2 more, and then we'll get to stuff, and then we'll get to your the rest of any super chats. Tyler Talbot again, Sean Murphy and Sean Manaya, I think you meant here. For Gleyber Torres, Gomes, Garcia, Everson, Pereira, and Josh Brew. How's that?
Josh Bro.
Bro. He's a bro. And thank you for the contribution. And we have one more here. Rasan Thompson. Other GMs flip their top prospects for major league talent all the time. It boggles my mind that Cashman insists on holding on to these guys when his track record for prospect development isn't good. Dude, first of all, thank you for the contribution. Second of all, you are 100% right, man.
I mean, we've been saying
right.
that for how long?
100% right. Why are you trusting a guy to hang on to prospects? Why are you trusting an organization to hang on to prospects and not get what you need right now to win a World Series when this team has proven to you time and time again that holding on to these prospects pans out, 1 out of 10 times? It just doesn't make sense.
All right, so back to what we were saying here. The trade had to lead to something else. This couldn't be the move, right? So Olson, right? I think a lot of people was like, okay, well, the Yankees are going to you're going to do something. They're going to make a trade for Matt Olson. He goes to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically to equivalate things to the Yankees, if the Yankees were to make that move, they would have had to give up Volpe and Jason Dominguez. I don't care about Jason Dominguez at all. Okay. I don't. I wanted to trade him last year. I would have traded him for Max Scherzer in a rental last year. You can go back and check the tapes. But, and I'm not, Chris, you guys know, I'm always for give me the sure thing. But once you make this move and you bring in IKF to be the shortstop, you can't trade Anthony Volpe. He's off the table now.
Right.
You cannot trade him anymore.
That's exactly why I said that after that move, the only logical next move would be them going after Freeman instead of Olson, because you didn't get a guy here that's a long-term solution at short.
And look, and listen, you guys can disagree with me if you want to. Anthony Volpe cannot be a good Major League Baseball player. He can't be, and he can't even be a guy that makes a couple All-Star teams. He's got to be a guy that is a legitimate top 10 to 15 player in this league now. That's the pressure that the Yankees have put on.
Yeah, I thought about that, man.
You're right,
100% right. This kid better come up and be a fucking stud. He better have what it takes to be successful in New York, because you got a lot riding on you now, man.
And look, go ahead.
No, and I don't doubt that he can do it, but the fact that we're sitting here and talking about what a prospect might do in a few years, as opposed to getting a guy that we know is capable of leading a team to a World Series when they're available, fuck it. I would have even taken Trevor Story. It's just mind-boggling to me.
Right, and we're not total agreement there. Absolutely, we've been on that train all off season that it had to be Correa, and we settle for Story, right? But it's almost unfair in a way what Brian Cashman did to Anthony Volpe. It almost is, because this kid can't go through a 3 for 35 stretch in April to start his major league career. He can't do it. The Yankees have been looking to replace Derek Jeter since Derek Jeter, broke his ankle basically. And what was that, the 2012 ALCS? They've been looking to replace Derek Jeter. They've been looking for the next Derek Jeter, essentially. He has to be Derek Jeter. There can't be growing pains with him.
Yeah, and here's
that's what Brian Cashman did to him by making this trade, by saying, we're going stopgap. We're not going to, you're never going to see a shortstop class like this ever in your life.
No.
How many, what was there, 6, 7 guys that were all-star caliber players at shortstop to hit the free agent market this offseason? And the Yankees are passing on all of them for Anthony Volpe.
Yeah.
He can't ease into this. That's what the Yankees have done to him.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? I think part of it is good. I think it's good. Like, everyone's like, oh, it's so much pressure and blah. I think part of that's good, right? I think it shows Volpe that this team's invested in him and they truly are confident in him.
But it's so dangerous, bro.
Right, but here's the problem.
Never seen a pitch above single A.
I know that, but here's the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that this isn't the Yankees of 2017. This isn't the Yankees of 2016, 17, 18, 19. I'll even give them. This is now the Yankees of 2022, right? So many years removed from when we were supposed to rebuild, when we were, 2019 was supposed to be the year and we were going to win a World Series, right? We're no longer in this phase of we can wait for these prospects. No, we got Garrett Cole. We spent how much money on Garrett Cole a couple years ago? We got guys like DJ LeMahieu, Judge, Stanton. This team is supposed to be the team right now. If you can't help me win a World Series right now, you are nothing to me. And the fact that they did this now is what's going to put the most pressure on Volpe to be successful, because guess what? When he comes up, who's going to be surrounding him? We don't even fucking know. We don't know what kind of Garrett Cole we're going to have at that point. We don't know what G is going to be capable of at that point. These guys are in their prime right now, and we are easily, if they don't win a World Series over the next couple of years until Volpe, before Volpe comes up, we have sacrificed a lot for a kid that we don't even know at all. And in a time when we had to win a World Series. And that's going to be the biggest pressure. So I think all of this goes away if this team can win a World Series. I really do. And then we don't even think about it. And then we say the kid comes up when he comes up.
Yeah, then the pressure's completely lifted at that point.
Right? So it's all contingent upon us winning a World Series before this kid makes his debut. Or else, fuck it, dude. He's the most pressure any prospect has ever had coming up into the major leagues. I can promise you that.
Yeah, I would say at the earliest is 2023 if he dominates Double-A this year. The Yankees have another flame out, first round of wild card exit, and he's coming up. You're literally going to have an elephant sitting on this kid's shoulders.
Well, it's going to be It's going to be a lot like 2016 at that point when it was just like, fuck it, let's just bring the kids up, right? And let's just give the fans something to be excited about. If the Yankees bust that bad this year, they're almost going to be even more anxious to get this kid up. I think it speeds up his timeline.
Yeah. But from what I've seen from him, though, he has been really good with the media, and I think he has that idea.
He does. He's got a great head on his shoulders.
He knows what it, where he is right now, what it's going to
absolutely
be for him to be that shortstop for the New York Yankees, and what that truly means. So he has that in his mind, and he's done a great job with the media. I'll give him credit for that. But you guys are absolutely right. That's such a good point. The pressure that you've now added to this kid is immense. It's going to be very, very difficult. It's already hard to play here. That's
and that's harder. The other part of it. What Chris was saying is like, you're in a championship window. Why are we waiting for somebody that's not ready to contribute?
Right.
You mean to tell me that you can't shift these guys somewhere? Everybody was so worried if Correa came, he was going to block Volpe. You know where Volpe played yesterday?
Second base.
He played second base yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah. I can't stress enough how frustrating it is. And I'm not sitting here saying like, give these kids up for anything. All I'm saying is when you have a significant Major League Baseball player who is going to get you much closer to winning a World Series, and you're passing up on that for kids who in our minds are great. I call them pipe dreams, right? They're nothing more than a pipe dream. We do not know what they are capable of. I don't care if they bat a fucking 1,000 in the minor leagues. It's a different beast in the major leagues. We've seen it how many fucking times? And you can't sacrifice in World Series window years for guys that we don't even know what they are, or who they are, or how talented they are. We do in the minor leagues, but that's all fucking great until they step foot in Yankee Stadium. And then we don't know. Real quick,
go ahead.
You want me to go? We got two quick super chats. Thank you to both of you. Mike from the Av says, you guys remember, we were talking about Wheeler before. You guys remember the Mets and Yankees had a trade for Wheeler in place and it fell apart. I kind of do remember that. Or it was like, it had legs and then it just kind of.
The Mets, that's when the Mets were, that's when they were being really. Well, no, that's when they were being really petty with the Yankees, not trying to stomp their brains in like they are now.
It was agreed between the teams that winded up falling through because of medical concerns about another player in the deal, not even about Wheeler.
Huh. We only had one. I thought we had two up there, but thank you.
Thank you.
What was I going to say now? Somebody refresh my memory.
We were talking about Volpe. We were talking about the pipe dream, not knowing what their
window of opportunities now.
It's gone. It's out the window.
Canyon of Heroes
was.
Okay.
Do you want to take it down a minute and play those clips those exclusive clips?
Well, we do have exclusive clips for Mike Francesa. We have two. Who did the Yankees sign to a minor league deal the other day? Outfielder. Who did the Yankees sign the other day?
Tim LaCastro, I think.
LaCastro, they got back.
No, they signed him. He got a
major league deal.
He got a major league deal?
Yes.
What the fuck are we doing, dude? Yeah. Well, we actually have Gardy's take on that signing. I'll play that.
Brett Gardner. Wow, cool.
Yeah, Brett Gardner. You think he'll be back? By the way,
let's see.
We'll see.
Brett Gardner here. Brett, Yankees recently they reacquire Tim LaCastro. You think that's a sign pointing you on the exit sign there, saying it's time for you to go?
Well, I did see that in the news. I don't know if that means that they're moving on, but no, I know I'm not moving on. I'm going to be playing in 22, and hopefully it's in pinstripes. But we got to kind of get things going here. The season's about to start, and I don't have a home. My only home right now is currently Holly Hill. But I need a ballpark. We don't got a team down there in Holly Hill.
Wow, good point.
Wow.
That's his hometown. He's from Holly Hill. That's what he's referencing there.
It is a minor thing, but Tim LoCastro did get signed to a major league deal.
That's why.
He's easily expendable. The Yankees can always DFA him if they need the roster spot. But my initial thought when I saw that, if they gave LoCastro a major league deal, is that the end of Brett Gardner?
Possibly. I'll tell you what.
Bill as someone, or is it is he going to maybe take on that Tyler Wade role? And that's the move, because he is an infielder as well, LoCastro.
He never played infield. I mean, he didn't play infield with the Yankees, so I don't know if the Yankees see him that way.
Well, and then he played what, 5 games with the Yankees before he broke his leg or whatever happened.
He tore his ACL, I think.
Yeah.
We got this. We got one more clip, an exclusive clip from Brian Cashman giving us, little breakdown of the trades. Don't forget, if you sign up to our Patreon page, patreon.com/NyynewST, we do have another exclusive clip dropping this week from Garrett Cole after the voting took place in the CBA. But for now, here's Cashman on the trades made in the last day.
All right, we're here with Yankees general manager Brian Cashman. The news today, making a trade with the Twins. Okay, Brian, you want to take us through that deal?
Well, it's thanks for having me, but yeah, we felt that this was the right time to move him. We saw a guy that we wanted for a long time here in Donaldson. Another guy that we really wanted here in Kiner Falefa and
Falefa.
So we made the move, and luckily we're able to get them both at the same time, and kind of take it from there.
Wow. Oh, okay. So it did seem, there was always rumors that the Yankees were connected to Donaldson. They were connected to IKF in the past. So Cashman pretty much just confirmed that on our podcast.
Yeah, you only get exclusive clips from Francesa and guys like Cashman and Gardy on the NYYST podcast.
It's funny. A lot of the backlash against Carlos Correa was that he's a bad guy and he's going to ruin the clubhouse. But meanwhile, they traded for a guy that Garrett Cole hates.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so, it just shows they're fucking adults, right?
I mean, that shit's all overrated, in my opinion.
It's not. I disagree with you wholeheartedly.
No, you can disagree with me.
Christian, you're anti-chemistry. Clubhouse
chemistry is so.
I think it is.
I'll actually, real quick, I'll give you a study that was done.
Ooh,
this was done. This was done. Yeah, of course.
Oh, Dr. Go Fauci did the study.
Where's your mask? Why don't you put your mask on for this study?
Dr. Go Fauci yourself.
So the study was done last year, a year or two. They went to, whoever was doing the study went to preseason basketball games. Okay, it could have been college, could have been NBA, and they counted the amount of times after each player, in between quarters, whatever, every time a player high-fived, slapped someone on the back, slapped them on the ass, hugged, whatever, any type of good sign of chemistry.
All right, ass grabbing. Okay.
The teams that showed that displayed the most chemistry in that sense.
Okay.
Were 98% more likely to have a winning record.
Okay, so the more ass you grab, the more likely.
The more chemistry. The more chemistry. See where you're lacking to put this all together is that chemistry doesn't win you World Series.
We talking science here? Biology here?
Okay. What chemistry does is it fills in the gaps where talent lacks, right? So if you have guys slumping, if you have guys not really hitting the ball, chemistry is what kind of catapults you to stay consistent.
Yeah.
Right? And push each other.
I'd rather
look at this team last year. Did the Yankees have any chemistry last year? Honestly, it felt like we didn't even watch them.
No, it felt like a business. It felt like we were watching people go to work 9 to 5.
Oh, they had tons of chemistry in 2019. How far did they get there? How many World Series did that team
But they were clicking on in the playoffs in 2017. They were fucking ass grabbing like crazy, dude.
When they had the thumbs down.
Still didn't win the World Series.
No, you're right. It still takes more talent. But
there's been teams that hated each other that won championships. There's been teams that that would have sleepovers, and they were besties
because they were
and
extremely talented.
and they lost. So to me, it's not as, to me personally, it's not the more, I'm not looking at that saying, oh, if I bring this guy in, he's going to ruin the chemistry. No, if he's a good player and he's going to improve my team, they'll fucking deal with it.
Yes, I agree with you there. I agree with you that it's overrated to think Donaldson or Correa is going to be a cancer in the clubhouse. That starts from the top down. And I really think guys like Judge and even Boone, I don't think they're going to allow anyone to come in here and ruin that. I think Donaldson coming to the Yankees knows what this is about. Players coming here don't fuck around. And
him and Cole hashed it out.
Yes,
already.
they're adults. They know how to fucking get over things, and I'm sure they'll be best buds after Donaldson fucking.
Donaldson ran his mouth. Cole fucking shut him up, and now it's
and that's
it's over.
They probably respect each other for it.
Was it about the spider tack though with Donaldson?
Yeah.
With the spin rate,
him and then Gardner,
and then he struck his ass. And then he struck his ass.
Right.
Was it 3 times, or did you get him only twice?
I think twice, and the third time was Cortez, I believe. Oh no, Cortez gave up that home run the next day. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but the video is like very choppy.
Yeah, can you guys not hear me?
Mine's. I couldn't really hear anything for a couple seconds there. We're good now, I think.
Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Yeah. Christian, you good?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah, I hear you.
I think. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear you? I think Donaldson knows what this is all about. I don't think he's here to fuck around. I think when you're going from a team like the Twins to the Yankees, and you have a guy like Garrett Cole, regardless of what you said about him last year on this team, that you.
Shoot.
We lost Chris.
Chrissy Booties.
We lost Chris.
He'll come back, at
Maybe.
some point.
I don't know about
there
that.
He is. Wait, no, he's back now.
We're back. No, yours didn't cut out?
You left.
You just
left the
disappeared.
group.
Oh, wow. That was cool.
Did you have lightning at your house?
I was scared.
Are you okay, Chris? Do you need me to come over?
Do you have lightning at your house, bro?
No, man. I don't know what's going on, man. My kids are probably fucking around.
Yeah, those damn kids again.
Mike Rotonda wants to know who was doing Francesa. That was SGR.
That's SGR.
The talented SGR.
All right. Thank you, Mike Rotunda. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Next caller. Go ahead.
Mike, do you know? We brought up Razor Ramon earlier. Mike Rotunda. That was the IRS. Did you know that?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Can you so you waited on the line for 20 minutes to tell us story? Yeah. Okay. Can you tell it again? Actually, it was such a good story. I want to hear it again. Okay.
All right. So what else do you guys want to get to while we have a few minutes here?
I think that. All right. So we touched on the Donaldson stuff. So here's a good question to ask, because this has been highly debated, I feel like, over the last 24 hours. And at first I said no. Now I'm going to say yes. Did this team get better in the last 24 hours?
Incrementally.
Yeah.
Okay. So since you say that, do you truly believe that another move has to be made to justify this move? I'm not asking you if another move has to be made to make this move good. I'm asking you if it has to be made to justify this move, spending that money on Donaldson's contract and still not building a team that you can confidently say is a World Series contender.
All right, so
is this move only good if another big move comes along? Because that's how I felt to begin with.
Yes.
Okay, so even though right now you're telling me the Yankees got better
incrementally.
Incrementally. This is like a fucking Celebrity Jeopardy episode.
They didn't get a lot better. I mean, like minute
increments.
Like,
okay.
Yeah, like minute. Like,
so does the incremental part? Does the incremental shift in positive reinforcement to this team diminish entirely if they don't follow it up with another big move?
No, they're still incrementally better.
Okay, but it doesn't. But it becomes, a moot point right? If they don't make the move.
Did I think that they were a 4th place team Sunday afternoon? Yes. Do I think they're a 4th place team today after this trade? Yes. I don't think they got better enough that I feel better about where they'll finish this year. How about that?
Yeah, this doesn't put them over the hump to then be that next piece. But yes, the move does make them better as a roster. But where it becomes questionable is how they spent. That's where I don't know if they can get any better from this, because if they're operating on a luxury tax budget or some sort of budget, maybe not that threshold, but some sort of budget, then I don't know. So then this move would have to be a precursor for me to say it was a good move.
That's my follow-up question here. Now that they made this move and they're spending $25 million this year on Donaldson and 25 next.
It's a little less because that $50 million includes a buyout for the final year.
So a little less. Is there any excuse that the Yankees get outbid for Freddie Freeman?
A legitimate excuse?
Is there any excuse that you can deem justifiable? Is there any contract he can get from another team?
6 or more years, I wouldn't give.
He's getting 6 because
No, I would give him 6 in a heartbeat. You gave
absolutely
6 at the same age.
Oh, okay, all right. I was gonna ask the age then.
So years don't bother me at this point. Is there any crazy contract?
I do feel bad that the gas prices are so high, and it costs a lot of money to fuel a yacht. So I do feel bad for Hal in that respect.
It's tough.
True.
It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you get what I'm saying though? You just
if they go,
let's just say it's 20 million on Donaldson. Okay, let's just be fair. You just allocated $20 million, right, to Josh Donaldson. When how much realistically are you going to have to pay Freddie Freeman on a high level? 30 at tops, I think, per year if you're signing him to 6 or more years.
Yeah, I mean, if you're pushing that number towards 40, then yeah, no, I could see the Yankees will not.
But realistically, 30, I think is. It sounds like he would have done the deal in Atlanta if they would have given him the 6 year.
When we initially heard that the numbers he was looking at was 6 for 180, I said it's a no-brainer to sign him to that. That's
so now, let's say he signs for $32 million a year. Okay,
no, that's pocket money. 32,
right? Especially when you're going to spend $20 million at a position that we really didn't need. I'm not saying I won't take the upgrade, but what on your priority list when we did that poll a couple months ago, and you asked where should the Yankees focus first? I actually said first base, but was third base even an option?
No.
Well, you had Gio there.
Right. That's my point. You just spent $20 million like it was nothing, like you shit it out in the morning and then you just spent it, had to spend it before the day was over, and you spent it on Josh Donaldson at a position you didn't really need.
So then that tells me that if this isn't a precursor move, then this move was made because the Yankees were really, really high on Kiner-Falefa and Big Ben. That's what that tells me then, that they wanted those two guys, at least one of those two, so they were willing to take on the salary, and they really must think very highly of IKF.
But again, that's all fine and dandy. You can think however you want. But if you're telling me that you're willing to spend $20+ million on Josh Donaldson, you better not fucking tell me in the same breath that you didn't have the money to sign Freddie Freeman to play first base. Because I'll look at you and I'll tell you to go fuck yourself. I'll tell you,
Doctor, go out yourself.
How far past 35 million a year would you say no?
It's such a tough question to answer, because you have to figure you have a guy in Anthony Rizzo who you can get cheaper, and he's still a great baseball player. And that's another thing I want to touch on. Everyone's debating like Yankee fans are crying and acting like Anthony Rizzo isn't a great option. Here's how I compared that. If you had a tray, someone handed you a tray of two of your favorite meals, and you could have either one, would you pick your favorite meal or your second favorite meal?
Well, that's different. It depends. I mean,
no. I want to know.
Did you just have macaroni the day before?
No, you're starving, dude. You know what? You're on death row. You have one meal left.
Okay, so then
are you picking your favorite meal or your second favorite meal?
No, you would pick your favorite meal.
Right. That's the point. The second meal would be great. No, you love it. It's your second favorite meal.
Well, let's give credit to where credit's due. Our boy Chef Junior in our group chat said chicken's great until you had a really good steak. And
exactly,
chicken was Anthony Rizzo, and the really good steak was.
I didn't even see him say that.
Of course not. But you had basically the same analogy,
oh
right?
My
You
God.
came up with that one on your own.
Sure.
Yeah, Chris. I did. And you know, so you have Anthony Rizzo there. So you have to get to a point where you say, okay, you can't overvalue Freddie Freeman so much that when you have Anthony Rizzo sitting here that you can sign, if Freddie Freeman's value goes higher than what Anthony Rizzo can bring you at this amount, then you go with Anthony Rizzo. And I think that cutoff is around 33 to 35 million a year. And that's pushing it. I think he'll sign for about 30 to 32 million a year. And at that point,
there's no reason.
You can't give me a reason. You can't give me a reason.
Just give me a reason.
You really can't.
You have to give him the offer and let him say no to you at that point.
Right.
Yeah, and then not come back. Like if they're coming back and asking you to give a higher offer, you still got to do it until you hit that threshold. It better not be, cut off at 29 million. Because again, I'll go back to it again. If you're willing to pay that much for Donaldson, you better be willing to go above and beyond for a guy like Freddie Freeman.
So let's say the Yankees offered 6 for 192, right? And Freddie says, "No, I'm going home. I'm going to Canada." At least, and I could go to bed at night knowing the Yankees made a fair offer to this guy and he didn't take it.
If he's moving on and it has nothing to do with money but preference, personal preference, then of course there's nothing you can do, right? But 99% of the time, especially with a guy like Freddie Freeman, just coming off a World Series, knows what it means to put the pinstripes on. There's no way he's turning down a decent offer just to be in Canada. I mean, then you know what? Take him.
But he's Canadian.
I don't care. I don't care if you're born there or not.
He wants to wear the Mountie outfit.
What's he? Is he a hockey fan? Is he all about that?
I don't know. But that's John Heyman, that fucking twerp. How many times did he tweet about geography when it came down to the Yankees? The Yankees think they're in it, but geography is going to come into play. Meanwhile, he has no idea the guy's fucking Canadian and would want to go back to Canada and play for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, John Heyman officially stamped cuck.
Hey man, you're a cock.
You're a cock, dude.
All you need to know about what the Yankees do is that they made this trade. And did you hear any rumblings, any connection of them trading Gary Sanchez, any connection of them trading for Josh Donaldson? That's not how Brian Cashman operates. You don't know. That's the one thing about Brian Cashman. You don't know what he's up to. A lot of the time it's sleeping on the street outside of Yankee Stadium, and the rest of the time, climbing buildings.
Yeah, but the Donaldson move to me, and I thought about this before, the Donaldson move to me is a phone call made to Brian Cashman. I don't think Brian Cashman's calling in on Josh Donaldson. I think that the phone call was made and he saw an opportunity to finally move on from Gary Sanchez, and in that move would have to give up Gio to open up a spot for Donaldson, and it made sense to him. And that's it. And he got in a catcher that he likes. I don't think that's a move where he's going out there and
what I think happened was he called Minnesota. This is just my take on it. He called Minnesota and was like, "Are you guys really keeping IKF? Because I would like to work something out if you guys are willing to move him." And then that's how that spawned.
Yeah. I guess that's a more plausible.
Do you know what the greatest thing? You know what what might be the greatest side note of this trade of Gary Sanchez to Minnesota is?
That no one's even talking about the fact that we got rid of the one guy who was the most hated player here for the last 5 years?
No, he's going to be reunited with Sonny Gray.
Sonny Gray. I knew you were going to say that.
Oh man.
It
Now they
seems
just need
like
to hire
the
Grandpa
Twins,
Larry.
the Twins are making moves. They're trying to break that Yankee curse. Let's bring
But,
in
like,
Sonny Gray.
That's
Let's
another
break
thing I
Gary
wanted to say real
Sanchez.
quick. Is Brian Cashman that hated within Major League Baseball now that he can only get deals done with certain teams? Like, it's always just like fucking, when all else fails,
man.
call the Twins.
Because
One of them
everyone's gonna.
I don't think they make
with
deals.
with the Twins,
they
they,
get
got the Hicks deal. Hicks, John Ryan Murphy.
That's right. Tyler Austin and who did
And
they
the
get anybody
Pirates.
for Tyler Austin?
The
Or did they
Twinkies
just
and the
bag
Pirates.
of fucking balls.
Now that the Seattle Mariners are serious about winning, they don't take the Yankees garbage anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
That used to be a huge dumping ground for Brian.
The Pirates still will, though.
So
Yeah.
it remains to be seen if the Yankees are going to get anything out of Jameson Tyone this year.
Well, they need to get something. And, you know, someone, I forget who, and I apologize, asked earlier, do they need to focus on starting pitching? Fuck
Yes.
yeah, dude. I mean, that's the problem with this offseason was that it didn't just take one piece. That's where we should be. We should be at a minimum at a point where the Yankees were one piece away from missing out last year.
All right.
And
So
instead they were a handful.
since there's probably a lot of new viewers to the show, right, let's just go around the horn. Previous to this trade, did the Yankees need to upgrade a catcher?
To win a World Series, are you asking me?
Did they need to upgrade a catcher? Yes or no?
Like
In my
before
opinion,
this all
no.
happened, you're saying?
Yes.
In my opinion, I
Okay.
wanted them to, but given the other priorities that they needed to
No.
focus on-
Just answer the question. Yes,
Yes.
or no.
Do
need
they
to
need a
upgrade
bit? Yes. Yes.
Do they need
Yes.
do they need to upgrade at first base?
Yes.
Yes.
Do they need to upgrade at shortstop?
Yes.
Do
No, they
to
just
upgrade-
need a shortstop.
Well, did they need to upgrade at second base? No, I guess you
No.
could say no if DJ LeMay is your second
Yeah. you would-
baseman.
okay.
Right.
Third base, did you think they needed to upgrade?
No.
I did because I didn't like. I
Well,
was not as.
I wouldn't disagree with someone who argued that point, but I wouldn't say they needed to.
Right.
Could they
That's
have?
where I'm at.
Could the Yankees have upgraded at third base? Yes. Did they need to? No.
No.
Well, anyway, left field is Joey Gallo. Did they need an upgrade there?
Well, no, not anymore. They did upgrade.
Okay. What about center field?
Yes.
Right field?
No.
No.
3 out of the 5 rotation spots.
Yes.
Okay. Does that sound like a team that was going to win a World Series?
How about the bullpen, dude? How about the fact
I'm not
that
even
Britton's
looking
going to
at
be
the-
hurt all
I mean,
year?
I'm not even looking at the
How about the
bullpen.
fact that we can't trust our closer? I mean, there's just
you needed a
holes
catcher,
upon
a first
holes,
baseman, a
dude.
shortstop, a third baseman, a fucking center fielder, three starting pitchers. Could have used another arm out in the bullpen. That's a World
Yeah.
Series team?
No, not even close. It's not. It's barely a playoff team,
It was barely a playoff team last year.
and that's a problem, man. And if you think Josh Donaldson and IKF are gonna, right the ship, they
And
are
Ben Big Arm.
absolutely not. Did
Ben
they get
Big
better?
Arms.
Did they get better? Comma, incrementally, yes. But are they a World Series caliber team? Not even close.
Well, it's the signs are pointing to this team being one that operates with the fact that there's now 12 teams that are eligible to make the postseason, and then you make
That's it.
you're in. You did your part. Now it's up to the players.
Just be
This is from
competitive.
Joel. This is from Joel Sherman. Dodgers were not
competitive.
in on Matt Olson. Yankees were and made an offer, but since Oakland was laser focused on the Braves deal, one AL executive said the A's made an incredible deal. So it looks like the Yankees weren't willing to really go to the lengths that Oakland went.
Which
I mean,
Christian is fine. That-
I'm just reading what.
But
was
what I'm
reported,
saying
okay?
is that's fine when you have a guy that you don't need to give up anything for. So keep your prospects. Keep all the prospects you want. But then you better open the fucking checkbook when there's an option out there that you can just write a check to. They might not even do that. Sure, all these offers are great, dude. I love them. I love to hear that the Yankees are making offers. But they mean fucking shit unless you land the guy. And Brian Cashman used to always be able to land the guy.
Okay. Would you have made that deal if it started at Volpe and Dominguez? Are you making that deal for Olson? If it starts at Volpe and Dominguez, you making that deal?
For me, yes.
After you made the trade,
I need Nyynewspt. I need Nyynewspt. No, that's where it doesn't make sense. Then at that point, I said this logically, you just go after Freeman.
Right.
You made your statement that you're not getting rid of Volpe.
But Atlanta gave up their Dominguez and Volpe and didn't get anything else. They got Olson and that was it. So if you want to say, then I'll do it if I get Nyynewspt, but they didn't get Nyynewspt. So are you going Volpe, Dominguez plus just for Olson? Saturday afternoon, would you have done it?
Yeah, I would have.
Today, would you have done it?
No.
That's how fucked up this trade was.
I know. Well, that's why it's you have to make another fucking move here, and it has to be Freddie Freeman.
It's me fucking Anthony Rizzo, who's a great player, a good clubhouse guy, but.
You know, someone made a good point in the chat, and it wasn't a super chat, but I'm going to read it anyway real quick because it was a really good point. Dude. Just AC said they paid $20 million for Donaldson, but wouldn't pay $20 million for Robbie Ray. Think about that for a second. I think Robbie Ray was like $23 million.
Again,
23.
It was 23. The AV was 23.
But where would you rather spend your money?
Duh.
It's not even a question. Reigning Cy Young winner or at a position that you didn't really need to upgrade?
Okay. We went over this. Okay. We said Robbie Ray. Where was Brian Cashman? Was he sleeping? Okay.
Yeah, he was.
And again, we talked about this. When the deal expires, you're covering the prime of the guy's career. He's going to be a free agent when you would be in those years where you worry about decline.
Same goes for Carlos Rodon too.
Where are the Yankees on? Where were the Yankees on that? We've said that numerous times on the show. Where were the Yankees on that?
Asleep at the wheel, dude.
It didn't even seem like they were interested in Robbie Ray.
No,
like you've heard them. They made an offer on Olson. They made an offer on. You didn't hear they made anything on Robbie Ray.
No.
And again, I'm not the biggest Robbie Ray fan in the world.
No, I certainly am not.
But I think for the year he's coming off of, what he got paid, the length of the deal, I mean, you'd have to be the dumbest person in the world not to think that was a good move for the Yankees. And honestly, anybody can be like, oh, I was the first. No, I was the first. I hate doing this, but nobody talked about Freddie Freeman in the Yankees until I said it on this show.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, until I said it on the show. Okay, I had it first. Okay,
that's true.
But at this point in time, just Brian Cashman, I know you're listening. Okay, I know you're listening.
Yeah.
Just call Anthony Rizzo's agent. Give him the 2 years with the option. At what, 21 per? Is that fair? 21 per?
Sure.
And just get it. Just rip the Band-Aid off already.
Yeah, stop making us think and wait.
Man.
Stop making me hate Anthony Rizzo. And just put him back on the team. Let me forget that I could have had Freddie Freeman. Let me forget I could have had Matt Olson. Just put the chicken back on the farm, okay?
Yeah. I agree.
So good.
And anybody that wants to argue with me that the Yankees, as currently instituted, are a fourth place team, tell me how they're not. Because are they better than the Rays?
No.
Who'd they finish? Who won the division last year?
The Rays.
Okay. Are they better than the Red Sox?
No.
Who was the first wild card?
The Red Sox.
Are they better than the Blue Jays, who might get Kyle Schwarber and Freddie Freeman?
No.
How many games did Toronto finish behind the Yankees last year?
A couple.
One.
One.
So make the argument that the Yankees are not a fourth place team as currently constructed right now. Make it.
Well, fourth place teams can make the playoffs now.
Oh, so that's what we're settling for?
Yeah, of course. Listen, I just want to make it clear. We're not sitting here fighting for Robbie Ray. I think we're all in agreement that Robbie Ray isn't someone who we're sold on.
No, but he would have moved the needle for this team.
What we're saying is,
I'll move the needle.
We have a general manager.
Tyler Wade's with somebody else now, right? Okay.
He's affiliated with another show. What we're saying is,
you have to move your own needle.
Yeah.
We're saying is, we have a general manager who clearly has the money to spend. They just pissed it away in Josh Donaldson, and he just doesn't spend it right. And the fact that this team needs a starting pitcher, a competent starting pitcher, by the way, Robbie Ray just won Cy Young, whether you want to believe that was a fluke or not, he did. If you're going to sit here and argue with me that Robbie Ray as a starting pitcher doesn't help this team way more than getting Josh Donaldson to play third base when we had Gio for pretty much the same amount of money, you're crazy. I'd much rather see them spend that $20 million to fill a spot in this rotation.
Robbie Ray, and we'll just take Simmons as an example, right? Because he would have been the other stopgap option. Robbie Ray and Simmons versus Donaldson and IKF. Which pairing makes you feel better about this team going into the season?
Probably Robbie Ray and Simmons, as much as I hate to say that. And to be fair, though, I don't know a lot about IKF. I don't.
Going into
apparently
the season,
he's good defense.
You would have to say the Robbie Ray deal because that makes that rotation so much stronger.
I need a good rotation, man.
Yeah.
And look, Sevy again could be the guy.
Great question, though. Great question. Because I'm not sold on that as my answer. It all depends on more moves to be made.
I think when you don't have to rely on Luis Severino to be your second guy, your number two. I think to me that's the answer. It would have been Simmons and Ray. But again, I mean, then we're not even taking into account that you got rid of Gary Sanchez. You're just looking at if those are the only two major moves.
We're looking to the additions. Yeah.
It was Simmons and Ray versus Donaldson and IKF. I think Simmons and Ray would have made me feel better about this team in 2022.
And do you love Simmons?
I actually prefer IKF looking at a few doing a little research.
So the point is, who's the common denominator of why we're choosing that package?
Robbie Ray.
Right. And do you even like Robbie Ray that much?
I like Robbie Ray like I like you. Like I tolerate
take it or leave it.
Yeah. It's like if I never saw you again, I wouldn't be that upset over it, but we could still be friends.
Right. But you'd rather me than some of the other people on Twitter.
Yeah, like this one guy who was in a thread responded to. Let me just get your take on this, and then we'll kind of wrap things up here. And thank you to everybody that.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys.
Especially the super chat people. Thank you very much, and anybody else that's been with us throughout the show. Thank you. This guy wanted to enter a serious baseball conversation and make this statement. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready. I'm sitting.
SGR, are you ready for it?
Yeah, ready.
Hal Steinbrenner has had more success owning the Yankees than his father.
I just want to know. I just want to know. I don't even want to dissect that. I just want to know what your immediate response was. Did you block him?
No.
Good for you.
You should have said
it takes a lot of willpower.
If George were alive.
George. Well, I actually tweeted the opposite the other day. I said I'd rather have a deceased George Steinbrenner running this team than his fucking embarrassment of a son.
I'll tell you what, if George were alive, and you know how much I hate saying that, if George were alive, Freddie Freeman would not sign with a team inside the Yankees division.
No, absolutely not.
Let's start an If George Were Alive segment.
Oh, that's a good one. It would be like, what was the Conan O'Brien segment?
Yeah, like the year 3000 or
In
something?
the year 3000.
Yeah, that's good. So, Christian, you should start coming up with bits for that.
Yeah, I like
little one-liners like that.
I like that.
If George were alive?
George were alive.
Did you guys ever watch that video that I sent you of the two guys that played guest
that
wrestler?
compilation? That compilation?
Yeah, well, we know what
I
you
know.
do.
I know the game. Someone on social media names a wrestler, and the guy has what, a minute or 30 seconds to ask questions and be like, "Is he from this era? Did he,
Yes,
blah blah blah."
Oh, is that kind? Yeah, I've seen that.
So instead of me giving you clues, is that because I want to
like
play?
that. I like that.
Do you
like
want
that.
to go that route? Do you want to go that route?
Yeah.
So I think we should tentatively schedule that for next week.
Okay, deal. Unless something crazy happens.
Obviously, if something crazy happens, then we'll push it back. But tentatively,
But it probably won't.
Is he cute?
He's cute. Yeah.
Like is that an acceptable question to ask? I can
what,
ask that?
well, what if I don't think he is and you think he is?
Well, then I'll know. Then I'll cross him off the list. No, because if you think he's cute, then I definitely think he's cute.
We might have different tastes,
True.
Okay. So we'll tentatively schedule that. We'll do another brother versus brother battle. I think Chris should pop the mask on for everybody to see, even though he was supposed to wear it for 3 shows for 16 minutes. If you show everybody right now, you're done with your penance. If you show it you wear it right now, show everybody, you're done. Are you there?
He's got it on there.
Where is he?
You can't see me?
See? I see
No.
you. It says, "I love Dr. Fauci."
Doctor, go Fauci yourself.
There he is.
That's a nice mask. Do you wear that out?
Dude, it's a good mask. You can't even hear my voice.
Is that leather? What's that made out of?
It's pleather. Put your mask on and get triple vaxxed.
Well, the masks don't really work, but they do.
Speaking of
Who was
which,
that,
one of
McCullough?
the
I don't know.
one of the
I was
things
trying to
that
be Fauci.
they agreed upon is
Wear
that
your masks.
reporters are allowed back in the clubhouse as long as they're fully boosted and wear a mask.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So we'll know.
Didn't they get the memo? Everyone. Yeah, we'll know.
But anyway, this is going to become a problem. Canada is not letting in unvaccinated players. So everybody that assumed about some Yankees vaccination statuses last year will know.
We'll know.
And then there will definitely be calls.
Docs. What's that called? When you
Docs. Yeah.
Docs.
But if you are unvaccinated and not allowed to go to Canada, you do not get paid for those games.
Wow.
That's fucking crazy.
In the NBA, make it make sense to me. Kyrie Irving is allowed to do everything inside Barclays Center except play basketball.
Smart.
Make it make sense to me.
It's safe.
No, it's wild.
Although
it's for your safety.
The NBA fined the Nets $50,000 for letting him in the locker room yesterday. So
really,
yeah. But again, make it make sense to me where he can sit next to you, but he can't play next to you.
Or that opposing players can come in and play.
And again, I'm not making this a vaccine thing. I'm not anti-vax at all. I'm pro, and then we've said this. I'm pro. Do what you feel is in your best interest, but make that make sense to me.
Right, it doesn't make sense.
It's for your safety.
Okay.
You just got to keep repeating the same thing over and over, and then it makes sense to a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
For your safety.
Oh, okay.
For your safety, we hope that you enjoyed the show. If not, we're gonna fucking Jane Silent Bob clown shoes you. Okay. We had a lot of fun. I think this was I really enjoyed going live. We're gonna try to do these again. We usually record Sunday night around 8:30, so that will eventually conflict with Sunday Night Baseball. So I would say when the Yankees are on Sunday Night Baseball and we're sitting down and record, that would be an opportunity to go live. We will probably go live again. You know when we should go live again, and we'll talk to Pete about it, is when we do Fred's projections.
Oh yeah.
I would love for the chat room to be in on us doing Fred.
That is a good one for the chat.
Listen, for the people in the chat right now, Fred is our made up name for the algorithm that projects statistics for the upcoming season for each team on baseball reference. Okay, and then we take Fred's projections and we say if he's drunk or not, and if it'll be over under on certain things.
So yeah,
So, I think he was dead on last year, by the way. And we were looking at the numbers like, oh, better be higher than this.
Yeah, he was like Jameson Tyone, 100 innings. We're like, fuck you,
Yeah,
Fred.
okay, fucking
Yeah,
Fred.
man.
Boom,
Yeah,
hurt. It's like the Madden curse, but it's the Fred curse.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if we'll do that the week leading into the season or the week before that. So that's coming up, and I think that's the next time we'll definitely go live when we do Fred projections.
All right,
I think that's a great idea to go live. I want everybody to chime in over under on the projections that we're going to do.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But as of 10-12, as we're getting ready to sign off here, Luke Voigt is still the fucking Yankees first baseman.
Yeah. Boone actually confirmed that today. Did you see that? He was asked who their first baseman is.
Yeah, well, he said Gio Urshela was the shortstop, and then look what happened there.
Yeah, didn't last long.
But everybody, if you were new to the NYYST podcast, please follow us on Twitter at NYYST_podcast. Subscribe to the show on
Apple Podcasts,
Apple Podcasts,
YouTube,
YouTube. Okay. The show usually drops Monday morning, audio, and then we do the video Monday night. But we got pushed.
Gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Live, and I think it was best for the show. We thank everybody that was in the chat. We especially thank the super chatters. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you paid more than for my app. Okay, on the super chat. Thank you.
So thank you for your continued support of the show. If you're a long-time supporter of the show, thank you very much. If you're a new supporter, welcome aboard. It's good to actually be mad at the Yankees for something that Brian Cashman did, because it means baseball's back.
Absolutely.
And I said this, it was yesterday, I believe, the Yankees, and I said as kind of, and this was before the trade, and we'll end on this here. As kind of even as down as I was on this team and still am, it's still fucking great to see this team reporting spring training, knowing that baseball is back.
Yeah, that's
baseball. All that.
Baseball's back, baby.
And I'll say this. I know that there's people out there with larger platforms than us that wanted to punish Major League Baseball and let them show that we're mad. Yeah, the lockout sucked. It pissed me off. It was a lot of range of emotions. Fuck the owners, fuck the players, fuck everybody. But at the end of the day,
fuck you.
Fuck you. At the end of the day, the season's delayed by a week. We're getting all 162 games and we're getting baseball. So no, I'm not punishing anybody, because then I'd be punishing myself. Because at the end of the day, that's what's most important to me, is sitting down and being a baseball fan and being a baseball fan. So
that's it.
Yeah.
So
and,
Brian,
before you sign off, real quick, I'm just gonna cut you off
okay.
or else you just fucking keep going.
I had one thing left.
Extremely loyal listener and now watcher, Hunter Larson, just dropped in a little donation to us. We thank you for your continued support of the show. We really appreciate it.
So as I was saying earlier, and I'll say again to close out the show, Brian, I know you're watching, I know you're listening.
Yeah.
Just sign Anthony Rizzo and let me root for my fourth place team in peace. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for your continued support of the show. SGR.
Go Yanks.
Chris, say goodbye.
Peace.
Before it hits the front page.